So I don't know if there were voting irregularities or there were ballots that weren't counted or there was mischief in the tallying of the election results because I haven't seen compelling evidence that makes that case. But it's really unlikely that any of that would have had much of an impact on the outcome just because the margins were so large. I think people are just searching for reasons not to have to believe that so much of the country actually did want this. They actually did want to return Donald Trump to power because people don't want to believe that so many of their fellow citizens are awful people. But you've met people, right? Let me introduce you to people. They are irrational and vain and envious and resentful, and they don't care about anyone but themselves, and they search for the path of least resistance. And while that may be true of a lot of people, I think it's pretty stupid to reduce this to the tens of millions of people who voted for Donald Trump are awful people and everyone else are the good ones. Like that's dumb. That doesn't make sense. Broadly, what happened is a lot of people voted for the Republicans because they were not paying attention to any other factors and were just pissed at how expensive life had become and were voting against the people who were in power. And the people who would have voted for Democrats stayed home because they were not excited about their party or their candidate. And this is what you get. And then there are a lot more details in that broader picture. Like Donald Trump has a cult of personality. There are a lot of people that really do firmly support him, but that is not the majority of the people who voted in this election. Also, this view that what the Democrats and the left have come to represent is this particular set of social morals that people who react very strongly against it don't understand and don't want to understand, and they feel talked down to from that vantage point, and that has consumed the political conversation. And the Republicans and the conservatives have managed to brand themselves as the guardians of the social morals that these people are familiar with, and they have managed to make themselves look like the masculine macho party as opposed to the feminist trans rights left. And that is very seductive, particularly for men and especially for white men, because it allows them to prove to themselves and the people around them that they are men. And that is a central part of male identity, is just constantly reasserting that they are in fact men, because for some reason they believe that there is this just constant environment of doubt around that fact, and they have to prove it every day. And the Republicans give them a way to do that. So a big chunk of these Trump voters just straight up don't give a shit about a lot of what goes on in the political conversation, about these changes in social morals, about the fears that democracy is slipping away, etc. What they care about is being able to pay for stuff. The ones that do care a lot about these questions of social morals were far more activated on the right than they were on the left this time, because they were responding to a perceived threat to their masculinity, which is a central part of their identity. And frankly, that becomes a more central part of your identity if you happen to be someone who doesn't have a lot of money, because this is your source of status. That also obviously intersects with race in a lot of important ways. Like being a white man in this country, even if you are a poor white man in this country, is a way of feeling like you are better than other people. And if one party is telling you that's okay, we're going to help you hold on to that, and the other party is telling you you should feel bad for this one thing that makes you better than other people. Also, by the way, it's all fake. It's a social construct. You can see how that might split the vote. So in both cases, the way you get these people to listen to you is to give them another source of status, and one that comes with removing the obstacles that keep them from having money. So you unite them in their hatred of the billionaires that are keeping them poor. That is the playbook.